Building a resilient organizational culture, one that can withstand the tremors of disruption and maintain its equilibrium, is akin to constructing a palimpsest. In this case, we overwrite the banalities of modern corporate life with something enduring, layered, and rich with meaning, a culture that not only survives but thrives in the face of adversity. The core of a resilient culture is, above all, adaptability. But let us not mistake adaptability for chaos. It is not a shapeless anarchy, but rather a carefully structured flexibility, an architecture of readiness that allows for reconfiguration without collapse. The company must learn the art of anti-fragility, a term that invites us to go beyond mere survival, to emerge stronger from disruption. This anti-fragile nature must be etched into the bedrock of every process, every decision, and every interaction. We begin by recognizing that the organization's culture is not monolithic. It is a mosaic of individual actors, and like any great novel, it is these characters who give texture to the story. Resilient culture is cultivated by investing in the growth of each individual, encouraging intellectual curiosity, and fostering a spirit of continuous learning. In a world where change is the only constant, those who do not evolve will be swept away, like notes lost to the wind. A resilient culture must also be underpinned by a grand narrative, an ethical framework that aligns personal and organizational values. Just as a labyrinth's design may seem chaotic to the outsider but reveals its logic upon reflection, so too must the organizational mission provide clarity in moments of confusion. The company's story, its mythos, becomes the guiding light through the fog of disruption. In the face of crisis, people do not respond simply to directives or protocols. They respond to meaning. They seek to understand their role within the larger narrative. Thus, cultivating resilience requires that the organization articulate a purpose greater than profitability, something that resonates on an existential level with its members. This provides not only direction, but also the moral resilience to navigate ethical dilemmas that inevitably arise in times of upheaval. In times of disruption, no individual can stand alone. We must consider the concept of social capital, the invisible currency of trust, collaboration, and mutual support that allows teams to coalesce in the face of uncertainty. Like a medieval manuscript copied and shared among monasteries, knowledge and resources must flow freely through the organization's channels, enhancing collective resilience. Trust, however, is not a commodity to be manufactured on demand. It must be earned through transparency, consistency, and the fostering of genuine relationships. A resilient organization is one where feedback is valued, where dialogue is not a luxury but a necessity. It is an institution where the walls between departments are more symbolic than structural, allowing for fluid exchange and innovation. The role of leadership here is not merely to dictate, but to curate, to maintain a balance between order and improvisation, between structure and freedom. Leaders must become more like medieval illuminators, providing the framework within which creativity and agility can flourish. Lastly, resilience is not a state to be achieved once and for all, but rather a process, a series of rituals of renewal. Like the seasons that turn predictably, yet always surprise us with their subtle shifts, resilience is about understanding the cycles of disruption and renewal. Organizations must embed practices that allow them to periodically reassess their strategies, their structures, and their culture. This can take the form of regular post-mortem reviews following major projects or disruptions, where failures and successes are both treated as text to be studied, annotated, and internalized. But this process must also involve celebration, rituals of acknowledgement for surviving crises and emerging stronger. These moments of collective reflection not only boost morale, but also serve as a tangible reminder of the organization's enduring narrative of growth and adaptability. A resilient organizational culture is like a manuscript that has been written and rewritten, where each crisis, each moment of disruption leaves its trace, and yet the whole remains coherent. It is a dynamic interplay between stability and flexibility, between individual purpose and collective strength. In this way, the culture becomes, like all great works, something more than the sum of its parts, a living narrative that continues to unfold, adapting, surviving, and ultimately flourishing in a world of perpetual change.